What's going on, good people? In today's video here for Clair Obscur Expedition 33, we're going to do things a little differently. This time I decided to do a guide, a bit of a walkthrough on the first main stage, I should say, Spring Meadows. We all know that the navigation in this game isn't the best, so I decided I would basically cover how to reach the beginning and the end of this level, and I will do that for all the main levels moving forward, right? So stay tuned for that. Every level has a main theme, if you will, that you should follow, some kind of icon, something that stands out. In this level right here in Spring Meadows, it's the color blue, right? You see all these little blue things right here. That kind of is the breadcrumbs, if you will. We got this enemy with this weak spot that's kind of blue lit up. Let's go ahead, strike that right there. The beginning part of this first stage is pretty much a big tutorial, right? So, and I find the tutorial section a little odd in this game, and I'll tell you why, right? I feel like they introduce a lot of concepts before their time, before you can like even really fully engage with those concepts, and then when you actually can utilize them, you may have forgotten what to do, right? But we'll cover that moving forward. So as I mentioned, this level right here, Spring Meadows, the color blue is very prominent. That's the main item or main feature that you want to follow to ensure you properly navigate this path. Right now, the beginning part, like I said, is pretty straightforward. It's pretty linear. Go from beginning to end, do the tutorial prompts. You're gonna get a lot of different cutscenes right here. Man, there's a lot of bodies right here, right? Right now, we're talking about Lune, Stains, and going over how she works. If you're unfamiliar with the game or new to the game, pretty much the way she works is she has different moves that will trigger an elemental effect, and those elemental effects can be consumed by other skills for a greater buff, a greater impact on the character, right? So I think you can, like, it does feel a little weird getting used to it at the time, but then once you figure the character out, you should be good to go. I will probably do a deeper dive on Lune and going over exactly her mechanics. But as I previously mentioned, you see they talked about Lumina right there. Like, I felt like that was an odd place to bring that up, because you can't really do anything with the Lumina, right? At that particular point, you gotta go at least 2-3 more stages before you reach old buddy that can help you put the necessarily attributes for the Lumina points, I can't talk. Yeah, man. So right at this particular point right here, once we hit this part, we're pretty much almost done with the tutorial portion. Once we battle these fools right here, blast the blue things, the blue orb, beat these jokers like a drum, you should be good to go. So a couple of hints, right? A couple of little tips that I would recommend doing. One tip you can do is if you switch weapons and you're not near an enemy, you will trigger a save, right? So make sure you go up there, get that, chroma, get that funds. That's your currency throughout the game. And right over here, we're gonna get a Picto critical burn. I would recommend equipping Pictos as soon as you pick them up, right? That's another key point I would suggest doing. This dude came down all dramatic, right? Take care of him. And as you can see, I'm speeding things up, right? Because otherwise this level could be a little bit long, so I decided that this would be the best way to go through this particular stage. Now when we make our way over here, we're gonna go up this electric rope, is what I like to call it. And when you reach this point here, don't immediately go forward just yet into the more open area. Bank this right, and we'll get us a little tint upgrade down here, right over here, mixed up with this debris. So +1 energy tint shard. So that's a little upgrade thing right there, and we got some more chroma. And as I mentioned, chroma is like the currency, right? Like that's your funds, your money. So now make your way forward, man, and we enter this open area, beautiful area, right? And we see that blue tree. That's the direction we need to head. Like I said, blue is the theme on this stage. Sometimes it will be lamps. Sometimes it will be like orange items. I don't even know how to describe those items. But there's always, every level has a theme, a breadcrumb that you can follow to reach the end. So let's rest up. But before we advance that way to head towards the blue tree, let's go ahead and head in this direction. Take out this dude right here. Blast this fool. parry him, knock him out. On a side note right there, parry, one of the things that works for me with parry is pay attention to the camera. So the camera will zoom out right before the enemy hits. That's kind of an indication that, you know, the attack is coming, and you can use that to kind of get the timing right for parry. So head off in this direction and we will see this mime. Engage with this mime dude. He can put up his wall, get some shields there, protect himself. The big thing with these mimes is that they can be pretty straightforward. They also could do a lot of damage if you're not careful. Slow them up so I can attack more. But the big thing about the mimes is you want to break them as much as possible. See that little break bar underneath them? I get hit from everything just then. But you see that break bar? You want to break them as quick as you can, because breaking them does a little bit more damage. And so one of the quick ways you can break them is by doing a move that does more break damage attack. And he silent me right there, right? Give me that silence. I can't do any moves. Or parrying their moves. Like them moves, they if you notice, they do the same moves all the time. I just can't get the parrying down right. I getting hit by either the last attack in the string of attacks or the first one. But here I'm gonna break his behind, right? So now every attack I do right here is gonna do a little bit more damage, take him out a little bit faster. So yeah, the goal should be trying to break them. You can get the timing down with their attacks because it's pretty straightforward. They either do like the little hammer thing right there, got it there, booyah, right? Or they do like the whop whop head slam. Like they have the same cadence every time. Whop whop head slam, or they nail you up like a hammer, right? So once you break them, you should be good to go there. For this particular one, we get this outfit. So usually you get like some kind of reward once you defeat them. So let's head our way back to where we previously came from. Rest up, upgrade them attributes, learn some new skills, take out big boy here. And if you notice, I shoot them before I free aim shoot them before I go and engage. That way I can initiate the battle on my terms, right? So we're following the blue items on the, you know, little blue trails, if you will, the blue breadcrumbs. Got these flying enemies. Now flying enemies, you gotta shoot them. You can't hit them like that. As you saw, I missed. But you can parry, you know, the flying enemies right there. But you can't just do a regular base attack on the flying enemies, right? If they don't touch the ground, you gotta pop them bad boys. So now we need to head up that electric rope to proceed, but if we head to the right, we'll fight a stronger enemy, a chromatic enemy. So I'm gonna switch weapons right here to engage in a saving state. As you saw, save in progress. This guy here, yeah, this big boy here, he dangerous, right? Now you don't have to fight these enemies at this particular time, especially if you early into the game. All the chromatic enemies are tougher versions of the standard enemy type. Like I say, let me go ahead, take this dude out, you know, get a Picto in the process, augmented attack. So we come up just then, right? But like I said, you could always come back and face them at a later date if you're having some trouble there. You don't have to engage. They're totally optional.
Be careful.
Be careful. So let's head in that direction, but before we do so, come down here, get some more funds, get some more money, because things get a little expensive, especially like midway through. Some of the items start to become a little pricey. Now we could head up the steps over there to proceed, but I decided to engage in these dudes here. Now that time I totally whiffed and didn't attack first. They had the upper hand first. So if they engage and you first without you attacking, depending on how your character is configured, they may go first. Right, so just FYI there.
Someone came here before and set up these handholds.
Probably Expedition 69. The climb's expedition.
So let's climb. Now as we proceed in here, we're gonna see this Nevron. Oh, but he just chilling. I don't know if he friend or foe. Right, but Jar Rastafari, right? So Jar's gonna give us a little quest that we can engage in, right? But before we do, I'm gonna go over a few things, interesting things in this room that some people may not be aware of. One thing in this room is, if you look over to this wall over the right, you see this like odd looking wall. You will get an ability later on if you do the Lost Gestural guide and you find four of them. You will be able to get this root break ability, and you can break through that wall and find some other items. So I decided to proceed forward. We're almost near the blue tree. We got some enemies hovering below, but before we go down there, let's head off to the right over here. And we still have that side quest we need to do for Jar. He basically need an item, so we're gonna find that item. We find this Picto right here, Dead Energy 3. Like always, go ahead and equip the Picto. It's better to go equip it so you can learn it. This is where your Lumina points come in. Again, it could get a little confusing. They mentioned it in the tutorial earlier on. But once you learn a Picto, you can then use Lumina points to purchase that ability permanently. Right, so that's kind of how that works, and it takes a few battles before you can learn it.
Interesting.
Pick up some Lumina there. Got these dudes around here, so let's take these dudes out before we go ahead and snatch up that item. Yeah, and some of the Pictos, the cost for each Picto is different. So it costs a different amount of Lumina points. So that's something to be aware of. But right here,
Like something with this.
we have the flammable material Old Buddy is looking for. Right, if we check our inventory. So that's the item there that the Nevron, the white Nevron earlier, where he was like, you know, my light is out. The light of my light is out. Whatever he was talking. He was talking all poetic, right? So if we go ahead, fetch that item for him and return. We give it to him. He can get a little pep in his step. This could be like his coffee. Jar. Did you bring the light? So go ahead, give him the light. And then after you give it to him, he's going to request basically that you light his candle, light his torch. So go ahead, blast that bad boy. That sounds a little odd right there, right? So go blast that bad boy and then go back and talk with him. And you will get a +1 healing tint in the process. You could talk with him afterwards and you could fight him. I would recommend not fighting him. Maybe you could fight him on New Game Plus if you want. You get a lot more bonus points, if you will, if you leave him alive. Every white Nevron, I would suggest leaving them alive. You don't have to leave them all alive, but you just need to leave a certain amount alive, and then you will get a pretty good reward afterwards. And then I think you can go back and then take them out, right? I didn't want to leave this, speaking about taking out, I didn't want to leave this dude roaming around the place. Right, so we got some more items over here, but I decided to leave that bad boy there, right? Now, if we head up there, we're going to face the boss, but before we do, if we look off to the left over here, we get another tint. So a lot of great hidden items on this first level right here. And I didn't get them all, I don't think. I got like some that were just like on my way to the end, if you will. But like I said, the primary objective here is just for us to reach the end and cover a few things along the way, right? And we did have that wall that we could break if we get the upgrade. So return back here at a later date so you could take care of that. Now we got the boss right here, right? Mr. Boss Man. He's pretty straightforward. His attacks are pretty consistent. He's gotta be mindful of that. He got that slam down, and then he got one thing where he is one attack that has traveled through the ground. It has traveled through the ground like them tremor creatures, right? So just gotta watch out for that. Okay, just dodge that attack. Pay attention to the camera. Like I was saying, the camera like is zoom out a little bit. You know, so pay attention to that. Of course, you could blast his weak spot to do some break damage. Blast the weak spot right there. Anytime you see anything glowing, right? See anything glowing on the enemy, go ahead and try to light it up. Right, so here I am at 10 out of 10 overcharge. It's a good time to engage in this. Give him a good little break right there. He can put on a bunch of shields. Now, some of the things you can do to get rid of these shields is you want to do some fire damage so it takes one off each sub turn. But once again, blast that weak spot. And free aim, right? So if you have a few extra action points, you could free aim a few times because they won't take any damage unless you remove those shields. So let's speed things up. Let's take him out. And eventually he will be done, right? So we got us another Picto in the process. Gonna have a little cutscene, but you're gonna get a Picto cleansing tint. Comes in handy, right? So you can go ahead and equip that, like I mentioned, so you can learn that ability so that when you can't spend the Lumina points, you will be able to do so. But before we finish, because we're almost near the end, down here, we go back down, we see this purple thing, right? We can't jump up and get that. How we get that thing, right? How we can Michael Jordan, how we could jump up and get that thing, right? So to get that purple item, you actually got to go down this electric rope. Slide. So slide down that bad boy. Get the purple item right there, which is the color of Lumina. And then we have one more item that we're going to get, which is another Picto that's back here. And that's calling it a wrap, man. So we covered everything. We covered a lot of things on this stage, and I think we should be good to go. So folks, that is pretty much that, man. I just wanted to give you this Spring Meadow guide showing you how to reach the end of this stage for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. As always, I appreciate the support. And with that there, I guess I will see you guys in the next video.